When you're learning to roll over obstacles, you don't want to start with the biggest thing you can find. Obviously, you want to start from a small obstacle and work your way up. You can use kicking pads. Chairs are not such a great idea because they're hard. You want to start with something soft because in all probability there's a good chance you might hurt yourself. If you have a partner, you can also use your partner if he's brave. Joel, are you brave? You trust me?
Sure.
So the first position to start is very simple. I'm starting with my partner just being rolling flat on his stomach. The obstacle is actually more a psychological barrier, because usually when you're practicing, you're going to be able to roll over something this big anyways. But it's getting used to the footing and the placement of the hands. So if I'm going to do now the left side, just because my left foot is forward now, I'm going to be placing my right hand on the other side of him. So in other words, I don't want to do this and roll over him. I actually want to step over with my hand and literally almost like jump over him from here. Yeah, from here. If I can do this, I get used to this kind of height, I can start working my way up. So the next level, as opposed to being flat, I'm going to ask my partner to go what we call 8 position. 8 because there's 8 points touching the ground. And from here, depending on how big I am and how comfortable I am, I can get him to come even lower, even from here, or open up a little bit. Same thing. If I do the left side, the left foot is forward. Bring the right hand on the other side. And I need a little bit more of a jump from here. This is where it starts to get a little bit riskier because the damage now is going to be greater. I'm falling from a greater height. There's more impetus from here. So I have to make sure that my shoulder is going to be very much protected and the angle that I'm rolling is good. As it starts to get higher, we go to what we call 6 position now, 6 points. So the same thing. Now, no, you can have a base now, especially if I fall on you. You want to be wide with your hands, otherwise your face is going to kiss the ground. So from here, he's going to have 8 points on the ground. Actually, this is more 6 points on the ground, and obviously it's a little bit higher. If I get more comfortable from this stage, I can ask him to go to another position, which will be higher. Go to standing now. Yeah, and from here he's going to widen his stance, widen your feet a little bit. Yeah, go even wider, because we're going to go start lower from here, yeah? Yeah, and make sure your partner's head is tucked in. You never know, your foot might catch something. And then the same thing from here. Now, this is a little bit different because I'm not going to be able to stand facing him and just jump over. This is a kind of height that I actually probably need some momentum. I might need to take a couple steps. I might need even to start jogging a little bit before I go to him. And now the risk of injury is actually increasing because I'm going from higher. So what I need to keep in mind is when I'm coming over him now, that my head doesn't touch the ground, but in particular my hands are going to be breaking my fall in a sense of sort of catching the ground and absorbing the shock from here. All right? So you have to pay attention that there's going to be a certain degree of absorption with the hands. It's a little bit of a different movement as opposed to just rolling fluidly like on a different angle. If he's here, I have a choice of going up and then down, making sure that I'll be a very, very tight ball. Or if I run faster, I can go on a different arc like here. And there's going to be a little bit less force in terms of the catching, but I'll need to get more momentum, which is also a little bit trickier as well. In either event, you still need to tuck, be round like a ball, and if you go high and then down, just be aware that you're going to have to catch yourself a little bit and tuck your chin, making sure you don't land it all on your head, because you can do a lot of damage if you're not careful. And obviously, I can start getting crazy by asking my partner to go higher and higher from here, head down. And, of course, this is for black belt. The bulk of your training for the roll should be done on mats. Eventually, when you become more experienced, you can start then to practice on harder surfaces like hardwood or concrete or whatever you have. If you live in the Arctic and you want to practice on ice, it's fine. The point is that when you practice on mats, it's very safe and it's easy to train, but you get to points where it's a false sense of security if you're making mistakes because it's such a soft surface. You don't actually know when your elbow is bumping or your shoulder is bumping. You can get away with it. The difference with a harder surface is if you make a mistake, you're going to feel it the next day, or you're going to feel it right away. So let's see what it looks like. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, so as I mentioned, the roll is going to be exactly the same on a hard surface if you practice properly on mats. We don't have ice, but we do have black concrete. So you'll notice that it's still going to be soft. From here, it's exactly the same.